Okay, so let's take a look at how the rig works now. We got our squash working. Looks like we could probably smooth this area out a little bit. We got the neck. It gets stretched out there. We got the teeth. Alright, so when we rotate the head, we're not seeing any movement on the eyes. Well, that's very simple. All we have to do is just select the eyes and the eyebrows, and we'll just link them back to the control object. Alright, so now we have the eyes following the head. Get the squash from the bottom. So I think what I'll do is I'll put this into an extreme. It's right about there, and we're getting a bit of a kind of a, not really a round, we want this to be nice and round, cartoonish. So what we'll do is we'll go into our squash base. We'll hit edit envelopes, make sure vertices is turned on. We're going to go into our side view. Hit F4. And it looks like this row here, it has too much influence on the bone above it. Or maybe too little. I think it's too much though. Let's go down to our bone tool. We're just going to minus some of this off the base. Okay, we need it more on the top. So we'll just add that in, and that just rounds it out. Alright, perfect. Okay, so at this point, if we want to reset our character back up to where he was, we just go up to our quick selection set, and we'll hold Alt, and we'll transform to 0. And it seems like we've a bit of a mix-up going on our character here, so we'll just undo what we did there, and we're going to go up to our quick selection set again, but this time actually we'll set the base back down to 0. Alright, so our character's back to its default position, and we're going to do our quick selection set one more time, and then we're going to Alt freeze transform. Alright, and we'll just make sure everything's still working. We'll just move this way out to the front again, go back to our quick selection set, and just see if that worked. Alt, transform to 0. Alright, so we're back in business. So we get the squash. Our character appears to be completely all set for animation. There is one more that I'm going to do, and that's for the eyeballs. In the animation, the character is going to be quite far. There is a little bit more advanced rigs you can do for the eyeballs, but what we're going to do is just create 2 more eyeballs. They're just a little bit bigger than this, so set this to local so as we duplicate these at once. Okay, and hit OK. So now we have eyeballs sitting on top of other eyeballs, and to make them blink, we're just going to animate the visibility of one of these objects on top. So we'll just add in the same hammer texture that's on the head there to these objects. And we'll just add them into a different layer. We'll call these eyes closed. So as we turn them on and off, our character can blink. Alright, so when we're back really far, this will help sell the effect that this character is blinking even from the front. Alright, and we'll animate the eyebrows down a little bit to kind of anticipate on his blinks during our animation. Okay, so we just have a few more clean house things we need to do to this object before he's animation friendly. What we need to do is, right now I can scale some of these objects, and I don't want that control. But we don't want the animator to come in here and do things that I'd rather than not do, like scaling some of these control objects. So what we're going to do is go into Animation Curve Editor, and we're just going to click on one object. So we have the master control. We're just going to scroll down on the side with that selected, go into the object torus, and under freeze rotation, we're just going to tell it that it's scale. And we do want it to rotate, we want it to move. And we're just going to right click and lock that. So now as I try and scale the object, I won't be allowed. Okay, we're going to want the same with this one. This one we don't want to rotate, but we want it to be able to move. Okay, so we're going to go into our rotation. and our scale. Alright, we want the same for this. We scroll down to the object. We don't want it to scale. We don't necessarily... Yes, we do want it to rotate, so we'll just right-click, lock that. Same with this one. We don't want this to scale. And the same with these objects here. We actually don't want these to move either, so with them selected, we'll go down to the scale, we'll lock that. And we don't want our transformations. So as we come up here and we try and move them, it won't allow us. We can't scale it, but we can rotate it. We'll do the same thing here for the last ones. And our scale. Alright, perfect. And for these eyebrows, they are linked to the head. We probably only want to move up and down, but we are going to want some rotation on them. Get them coming over here like this, we'll animate like that. So I think the eyebrows will just stay like that. Alright, so that there is how you create a character rig for our cartoon hammer. In the next tutorial, we'll go ahead and we'll start posing this character out according to storyboards that we're going to create. And we'll get this guy brought to life. Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any comments or suggestions, we greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you in a little bit.